In this video we are going to talk about 10 insanely inspirational vintage wedding ideas that will elevate your wedding. Before continuing this video, like this video and subscribe to our channel Best for Brides for future updates. There is something so unique and classy about vintage, inspired weddings. Even though they unfolded in the modern era, they give the bride and groom a day of elegance, timelessness, and a one-of-a-kind feel. As for what defines a wedding with a vintage aesthetic, it is all in the details. For example, consider the Hollywood glamour of the 50s. Back in the day, solitaire with a vintage feel was the grandeur of the most trend-setting weddings. Regardless of the historical moment, there are so many ways to breathe life into a vintage wedding. You can give a vintage touch to your big day with a gown or hairstyle from the desired era. If you can't find or decide on the best inspiration, here are 10 inspirational vintage wedding ideas to inspire you for your wedding. Number 10. Go for gold. When it came to weddings, gold was the color of choice of the vintage era. Besides, it is a versatile metal and adds a touch of glamour to your wedding. In addition, it works perfectly well with deeper tones and shades. For starters, begin with gold-themed wedding invitations. Then carry through your day with gold, everything from signage to seating plans. Don't forget to add glitter and beautiful calligraphy to hint at a vintage affair. Add glitz with gold-plated table numbers as a fabulous centerpiece. Present the menu in an informative outline and add elegance to each set with a design of black and gold. For a vintage wedding, gold works beautifully. It is a clever way to ensure your attire ties in with your wedding's decor. Number 9. Mix old and new. Unfortunately, some people might consider vintage to be old-fashioned. The best remedy is a combination of the past and the present. It makes your wedding unique and fundamentally different from any other. Depending on how much vintage or adapted wedding inspiration you are looking for, lace is a must for the bride. Embellishments deliver a unique character that complements the overall look of the bride and emphasizes her beauty. With regards to the location, celebrate where you feel most comfortable. A vintage inspiration can be replicated anywhere. Number 8. Ride a vintage car. Nothing beats rolling up to your church wedding in a vintage luxury car. So you can't go wrong with a Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud. The Cloud was almost expressly designed for sashaying up to the steps of your wedding venue a decade after it hit the market. The Daimler DB18 Special Sports is a serene open car, preferably driven by the bride's dad, and you have a truly unforgettable moment. Likewise, the Daimler DS420 limousine radiates a flowing elegance that is unbeatable. After the ceremony, the new couple can trickle away when the sun sets in an Aston Martin DB6 Volante. The Alfa Romeo Spider is another romance car to take away the couple. Number 7. Channel Victorian-era vibes. With the vast number of designer wedding gowns floating on the market, it might seem unworthy to get a vintage wedding dress. Yet, vintage wedding gowns are classy styles to flaunt your curves in sophistication. If you are inspired to channel the Great Gatsby feel, then you can't go wrong with inspiration from the Roaring Twenties. However, if 70s fashion appeals to you, go with a velvet wedding dress crafted from fabric with a slight sheen. An open back gown screams old Hollywood glamour. Accessorize with pearl drop earrings, and you have an elegant and polished look. Opt for a wedding dress full of detail that pays homage to the glitz and glamour of the 20s with an outer layer and bodysuit for a sexier look. Play the starring role in an antique, vintage, inspired wedding gown with lace fabric. Give your guests a hint of old Hollywood elegance in a dress designed for the classic spirit with a modern edge and vintage feel. Number 6. Showcase vintage-inspired jewelry. Vintage wedding trends run from sleek solitaire with a vintage feel to dazzling jewelry with unique cuts. All in all, vintage jewelry is trendy, from colored stones like sapphire, favored by the Duchess of Cambridge. Sapphire and diamond cluster rings are popular with celebrities and royals, including Princess Eugenie and Katy Perry. It's a new style with its roots embedded back centuries, making it a viable vintage option today. Aquamarine rings are sophisticated alternatives to diamond rings favored by the likes of Princess Diana and Meghan Markle. But the absolute must-have, classic solitaire with a vintage feel has been a mainstay engagement ring since the 1880s. Number 5. Use books as props. Here is an idea with a vintage feel. You can embrace your inner bookworm and use books as wedding decor. Stack them on a table to form a sturdy centerpiece base with lots of greenery on the top. Instead of having the ring bearer carry a pillow, have them walk down the aisle with your favorite hardbacks. Your wedding program is also another opportunity to explore a book theme with a table of contents style outline. If you are looking for something more than all this, consider moving your dinner to a bookstore. A low lighting and simple decor setting provide the perfect atmosphere where intimacy can flourish. Add statement, making chandeliers to hover over the tables with taper candles attached. Remember to get a low floral arrangement to go with the chandeliers for the perfect amount of romance with a grand vintage feel. Number 4. Dress your party in white. Dressing your wedding party in white complements not only the bride's white gown but also offers a hint of vintage. The key to pulling off such a fete without overshadowing the bride is to opt for simplicity. Choose simple white dresses for your wedding party and spruce things up a notch with some jewelry. The bride can also have a different hairstyle for the wedding party. So have a list of doses to glam up you and your girls. For inspiration, consider checking out Kim Kardashian's all-white wedding party. Love her or hate her, you have to admit that she has got great taste in vintage inspiration. Number 3. Write your vows on paper. For a memento for years to come, write your vows on paper instead of your phone or print. The good thing with this is that you can display that in your home as a reminder of the promise you made to each other. Remember to include a story that demonstrates your love story to your vows. This will add a wow factor to your home decor. Plus, writing them down on paper makes the promise special. At the same time, if you have a thing for Japanese art, you can fold an origami parrot. This unique art is not only a lovely idea for your wedding but also, when written in calligraphy, is a fantastic way to display each meaningful word. Number 2. Frame a vintage style door. Regardless of your wedding venue, add the ultimate vintage feel to your big day, including a door frame at the ceremony or the reception. Monogrammed or adorned with an elegant floral spread and you have an impressive backdrop for your wedding. Making a grand entrance from a Victorian style door is statement making. Go all out with vintage design doors leading to the aisle. You can also add a touch of the neutral palette to deliver a romantic atmosphere at the ceremony. Complete the aesthetic with acrylic chairs along the aisle and an arch of moss, greenery, and alliums for a modern botanical vibe with a vintage touch. Finally, add a vintage door frame to help highlight the raw beauty of your wedding decor. Number 1. Make a grand entrance. Why do you make an ordinary entrance to a fabulous day? It is your big day, so go big and make the most of it. This might be a perfect time to sit down with your bridal party and binge watch Royal Wedding as far back as possible. If your wedding budget knows no bounds, a grand entrance can't get any more luxurious than showing up in a hired helicopter. Do a kabuki drop at your wedding venue if you wish. You can even ride a ski boat to your wedding venue or reception. Even on a budget, you can still put on a show to impress your guests. Look no further than your talents to inform how to make a grand entrance. Horses make for gorgeous wedding photos and grand openings. Plus, they are crowd pleasers, too. Final words. Don't forget to end the night on a high note. It is not a vintage-inspired wedding until the getaway vehicle is decorated with sweet, homemade decors of tin cans. There is something genuinely heartfelt about a perfect mix of DIY and vintage touch. If you are a lover of art, look to your favorite era for floral designs and wedding colors. What do you think about this video? Do let us know in the comments section below. Please subscribe to our channel Best for Bride for future updates and visit our website www.bestforbride.com.